In today's episode of What the Heck Is, we answer the question, what the heck is Lyft? What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Mr. Albert Lopez channel. My name is Albert Lopez, and this series is called Entrepreneur Dad. Entrepreneur Dad is a place where we come and talk about entrepreneurships in a family beginner level, where sometimes you have an entrepreneur that is a veteran entrepreneur in the family and wants to inspire the youngsters in how to be an entrepreneur, or you're a veteran in the family and you kind of want to start entrepreneurship and you don't know how to start, or you have some very basic questions. Hopefully we can answer those questions here for you. Or if you're a youngster entrepreneur and you live in a household or in a family where entrepreneurship has never existed before, and you're coming into the scene and you're ready to hustle, you're ready to do the damn thing because you got hit by the hustle bug, you could come here and hopefully we can answer some questions for you and get you started, and hopefully bring those two parties together in the family where we could get some momentum and start really our journey in entrepreneurship. My name is Albert Lopez, and this show is called What the Heck Is. Today we're going to be answering the question, what the heck is a Lyft? Now, to some of us, it could be a household name, something we use every day to go to work, to go to school, to go to get groceries, to go to a doctor's appointment. But if you've been around the office, if you've been around friends, if you've been around at the park, if you've been somewhere and you've heard someone say, oh, I'm going to take a Lyft, or the other one that may even trip you out a little bit more is like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm a Lyft driver. I do Lyft. It's like, wait a minute. What's all that? Well, hopefully today my goal is to break it down to you in a very basic level what Lyft is. Let's get started. Lyft is what's considered under the umbrella of rideshare. What the heck is rideshare? Rideshare is where you're sharing your ride, your car. We share one as a driver, and I'll get to the basic of it in just a little bit. One as a driver is sharing their car, and I'm sharing the rides that I can give. Now let's break it down. There's two parts to Lyft, and for the sake of what the heck is, right? There's two parts to Lyft. There's the passenger side. There's the driver side. And then Lyft is the facilitator, the mediator, right? So we'll start off with Lyft as an app. Lyft is a program that you download onto your phone, and with this app you can request rides. For the sake of the example, I need a ride to the store. I don't have a car and I don't want to walk because it's too far. I open this app on my phone and I say, I want to go to this address. Pick me up at this address. Now, yes. And it'll tell you how much it costs. $4, $5, $6, $15, $40, $80. It all depends. That's for another episode, the price bracket of Lyft. You press select. Lyft goes up into the air. It magically gets the closest car to you, and then that car gets the alert. He or she drives to where the address you said you were at. In this case, it was me, so it drives to me. I'm waiting for it outside. It takes me to my location because he or she already knows what the location is because I punched it into the app. Drops me off at my location. I get out, he waits for another ride to come to his phone, and I get to my location, and the app automatically takes the money from my credit card, PayPal, ATM, whichever I have attached to that app, and pays the driver, and the app gets a percentage. Now, let's break it down in two parts. I'm going to break it down into that's just kind of like the big umbrella part of it. Now, I'm going to break it down into the driver and the passenger. What the heck is what the heck is Lyft, and what do you mean you work as a Lyft driver? Most people probably already know. The majority of people are Lyft users. So that kind of gave you the example of how it is. I need a ride. I download the app. I can request a ride. Driver comes to my place, and if I'm here, takes me to where I need to go. And then I can repeat that process if I'm at that location and I want to come back. I request a ride. The closest car that's within my area comes, picks me up, takes me to my second location. In this case, it could be back home. I come back home. Process is complete, and we move on. The driver side, I work for Lyft, or I hustle for Lyft, or I'm a driver for Lyft. This is the way it works. there's two apps. There's the passenger app, which most passengers have, and then there's the driver app. It's a different app. It's also by Lyft, but it's different. This means you want to be a driver. As a driver, these are the things that maybe are not explained, and sometimes people maybe don't appreciate the drivers as much or don't understand kind of how it works. Hopefully I can kind of iron this out in the most simplest way. The driver says, I want to give this a shot, I want to drive for Lyft. He has a car. The car qualifies under the Lyft specification. His car and him qualify, and they meet all of the specifications that Lyft requires. Age, the age of the human, the age of the driver, the age of the car, the type of car it is. It has 4 doors, passenger driver, back, passenger driver in a trunk, or an SUV kind of thing, or a van lift thing in the back, right? So these are all qualifications. A certain year. It has to have working seat belts. It has to have no broken windows. It has to have a horn. Turn signals must work. The driver goes through a background check. Make sure that you don't have a criminal record. Make sure that your driving record is pretty good. Make sure that there is anything on your record that says this person shouldn't drive a car. All those things. So once that happens, Lyft qualifies you. Now you're ready to go on the road. So now the Lyft driver and his car, Lyft doesn't give you cars. This is not a place where the driver goes to work, he punches in, and Lyft says, here's your car. When you're done with your Lyft driving, come back to the shop, drop off your car, and then get on your bike or your own car and go home. No, the drivers actually use their own car, meaning that car that they use to take people around, they also use probably for their family to go to the park, to go to the store, to take them to Grammy's house, to take them to their friend's house, to take them to the beach, to take them to different places. That's their day-to-day car. And as passengers, we need to understand that this is not like when, I'll get to that in a little bit. I'm going to sprinkle this whole what the heck is with a little bit of passenger ethics. So now the driver is ready to drive. So now he has his app, he turns it on, he wants to go give some rides for a couple of hours. So when let's say I'm in the, how can I put it so where it's very general? I'm by the Main Street. Most cities have a Main Street. And I'm close to Main Street. Main Street and First Street, a cross street, right? And you're standing there. And this driver is a block away. He's the closest car to you. So you request a ride on your phone. This driver's driver app on his phone will ring. It'll have an alarm and it'll ring and it'll say, Sally or Joe needs a ride that is located on First and Main. So he accepts, and then he makes his way over to you. He has no idea what you look like, especially if you didn't put your picture on the avatar of the of your app. So he's looking around. So you look for your car that says what the car is going to look like. Then you approach him, and that's the way the ride is complete. You come in, and you go about the way in finishing the ride. He takes you to where the address you requested. So the driver gets notified through his driver app. He gives you a ride, and he gets paid a percentage of what you paid on your phone. So if you paid $10 for the ride, he gets in the ballpark of $8 or whatever. I don't know. It's just figuratively speaking. 7 to 9. Not all of it. He doesn't get the whole amount. A portion of it goes to Lyft, the mastermind creators of the app, and another percentage goes for the driver. Now this driver has to pay wear and tear on his cars, has to wash his car, has to pay to vacuum his car, pay to wash his car, has to pay for gas, has to pay for insurance, has to pay for brakes, oil change, all these little things. So out of every ride, a part of it he needs to put away for maintenance and wear and tear on his car. But he knows what he's up against. The drivers know that they have to do this. There's a misconception that the driver gets to keep everything and he's partying it up that night with all that money that he's making. No, a percentage needs to go to maintain his car. This is like a self-employed business that he's running. So he needs to keep in mind that part of the money that you're using does go to maintain his car. And also keep in mind that that's the car that he uses for his day-to-day driving with his family, if he has a family, or dates, or wherever stage in life he's in, right? So us as passengers, when you go into a Lyft ride, make sure that you treat it like a kind person is putting his personal car onto the market to facilitate a ride for you. There should be a level of, hey, appreciate him, because if he wasn't out where he was at that moment to give you a ride, maybe the next car would have been 30 minutes away and you would have had to wait 30 minutes before that car came to you. But because this guy or lady decided to be in your area and be a Lyft driver, you only had to wait 30 seconds or 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So there's a level of appreciation of, hey, thanks for coming out. Thanks for giving me a lift. Thanks for giving me a ride. So keep that in mind next time you call on a Lyft. So I hope I answered the question, the whole idea. What the heck is Lyft? Lyft, and I believe the company named it with the concept of, hey, can I get a lift? Get it? Lyft. And that's how it works. You call a ride, it comes to you. But on the sense of entrepreneurship and the whole Entrepreneur Dad show, it's, if you want to drive for Lyft, you go out there, you drive people to and from point 1 to point 2, point A to point B, and you get paid a percentage that the passenger pays for facilitating that ride. So that's some form of entrepreneurship. I hope I answered the question. If I did, if I answered the question, what the heck is Lyft, or what the heck do people mean when they say they drive for Lyft? Do me a favor, let me know and hit the thumbs up. At the same time, I also want to take this opportunity to invite you to subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more episodes of What the Heck Is and other questions that we answer in the Entrepreneur Show. Thank you so much again. Make it a great day, and don't forget that there is no we in I. And I is all you got. Have a good one, and we'll see you in the next video.